Okay, so we're now on session 2 of our special dietary requirements, and we're going to look at more of our lifestyle diets today, namely sort of paleo diet, which is obviously quite a popular one at the moment that everyone seems to be looking at as far as losing weight, being more healthier, and obviously looking at more nutrition. So with this recipe, we're actually going to be using beetroot. So some of you might not actually be used to using beetroot, and you're going to be given the raw beetroot. So we need to get that on first as far as our recipe today. So let's actually just go through the recipe. We have beetroot, 250 grams. Now I've actually already pre-cooked my beetroot and actually pureed it up. So if you don't have a blender at home, you could obviously grate it, or you could finely chop it as well and try and get a nice little paste out of there, so you can try and get it as smooth as you possibly can. This one's done with almond meal, which means there's no flour, so it's also gluten-free. We have our cocoa powder, we also have our 2 eggs, a nice pinch of sea salt, and our bicarbonate soda. So that's basically most of our recipe. We also are going to add a little bit of honey. You can also use maple syrup, or if you don't have that, you can also use some coconut sugar. And any of you guys know me, you will know I love to use this beautiful vanilla essence. So that's pretty much our ingredients. You also will be needing little cupcake holders today. So if you don't have a silicone mat, you can also use a metal container as well, which you possibly use to bake little muffins. And we're going to do an avocado topping for the top of our cupcakes today. Alright, so that's all of our ingredients that we need. I do actually say put some gloves on, because beetroot will dye your fingers if you're not careful. So we need to just prepare our beetroot that can be put onto the boil. Make sure it's covered in water and some salt, and this is going to probably take at least an hour to cook. So you may actually find that you need to top up with water as it's cooking, and you want it nice and soft to be able to get that nice puree going on. So if you don't want to use your knife, you can also use a peeler just to get the skin off. You can also cook these whole. You can also steam them. So for quickness today, I'm just going to chop it into nice little pieces so it's quicker for us to cook. But again, you can cook them whole and peel the skin off once it's cooked. So there we go. Our beetroot is prepped. Put it into our pot and put that with our water and a nice pinch of salt, and you can start to have that cooking while getting the rest of your ingredients ready. So let's pop that on. Remember, we're after a really, really soft puree, so make sure that it's nice and soft. If you remember as well doing your poached pear in your methods and equipment lesson, you may actually find that when we actually put our knife into the pear, we made sure that it was nice and soft. So that's what we're looking for today with our cupcakes. So I'm just going to take those gloves off and turn my board over. So now we can actually look at making our cupcakes. Let's get rid of that and use this bowl. So we have our almond meal going in. A nice all-in-one recipe. We have our cocoa chocolate powder going in. We have our bicarbonate soda. You can also sieve this, guys, if you want to make sure that everything's all combined together. And we're going to whisk up those 2 eggs and then add our lovely pureed beetroot in there as well. Your oven for this needs to be on 160 degrees, so it's a real slow cook, this one. You don't need to be having a hot oven, or you may find that the actual cupcakes will start to burn. Alright, so we need a nice cool oven, and just do it nice and slowly, and it will probably take a good 30-35 minutes to actually cook these off. There we go, we've mixed everything in there. We can add our beetroot puree and then our 2 eggs. And we're bringing that all together with a nice pinch of sea salt. The salt works really well with our beetroot puree. Not forgetting that lovely vanilla extract to go into. It's a really easy all-in-one recipe.
So Claire, this session is lifestyle diets, is it?
Yes, it is.
Okay. We need to drain off that beetroot really well after we've cooked it, before we make that puree.
Yes, we don't want to make it too wet. Obviously, we need to make sure that this is a right consistency, that it binds it all together, but we don't want it too loose. So definitely drain it off through a fine sieve or a colander to make sure that there's no extra water in there.
So it comes out, it's looking like a bit of a firmer cupcake or cake recipe at the minute, like a paste, isn't
That's
it?
exactly right. And the bicarbonate soda is going to help with a little bit of rise with those. I'm just going to turn down our beetroots there, because remember it's going to take a good hour to cook those so they're nice and soft. So make sure once it's come to the boil, and you put a little pinch of salt in there, just to make sure you simmer it gently. So there's our mix there already.
Beautiful.
We can start putting it into our little cupcake silicone mat here, making sure that we've got our little paper in there too, so it's easy for us to take.
We need to spray those, Claire, or not?
No, we can actually leave them just as they are. If you didn't have the cupcake molds, you could spray the silicone just to make sure it comes out easily. And don't overfill these cupcakes. We just want them to come up to the top. So as far as serving these, I would think that they would be nice for a morning tea option, or even an afternoon tea.
Chef's breakfast, perhaps?
Chef's breakfast, maybe not. But it covers a lot of our dietaries, not using flour, it's gluten-free, not using too much sugar, so it's good for making sure that we're not adding to our waistline. So it covers a lot of basics as far as dietary requirements, which is what this whole unit really is about. So once you've put them neatly all in there, you can probably stretch this to actually getting maybe 10 or 12 out of this mixture. So if you only have one container, you can bake them off and then obviously redo the next one. And a bit strange having that old avocado topping, but it does work really well with the maple syrup or the honey as well. If you don't have a piping bag for that, you can also just spread it over the top with your palette once it's cooled down. So there we go, quite happy with those. Got plenty in there now. Just going to wash my hands and then pop those into the oven to bake. And because it's a nice cold oven, we know that that's only going to take us a good 30 minutes, 35 minutes, just to make sure that they're cooked. And when they're cooked, they feel light to the touch, but still a little bit of moisture in there when they're cooked. So pop those in the oven now.
Can I check? Oh, sorry, Claire. What temp was that on again?
160 degrees.
160, okay.
Alright guys, so we're now actually just going to put our avocado icing on top of our cupcakes. Now you need to make sure you're giving your cupcakes a little bit of time to cool down before you do this. So as you can see, they're really moist, really lovely. So don't overcook them, don't have them on too much high temperature, or you'll find that the tops will burn. So in my little bowl, I've actually got one avocado, and just in case you guys don't have a blender at home, I've actually purposely used my fork just to make sure I've crushed as much of the avocado up, and I've added my honey. You can use the maple syrup or remember the coconut sugar, and we've just put a nice pinch of sea salt and some vanilla essence, which is all in the recipe. So you can grab your palette knife. I've obviously got the smaller version of what you guys have got in your box. There's nothing wrong with us just smoothing that over the top. If you've got a blender, you might find that this is a little bit smoother, and if you wanted to pipe it on, you can. But obviously we're just looking at trying to make this as easy as we can with the equipment that you guys have got at home. So popping them all onto our plate. Find that the white plate really pops the colour coming out from the redness of the beetroot and the green from our avocado. Like you say, this is just half the recipe, so you you guys will probably get at least 10 or 12 little cupcakes when you finish. Something a little bit different. Remember, in the industry, we never know when we're going to get dietary requirements. If you're working in a hotel, you always need to be thinking of breakfast, lunch and dinner, but we also need to think about morning tea and afternoon tea options as well for our dietary requirements. So, good little recipe to have up your sleeve if you have someone that's gluten-free. So there we go, that is our finished beetroot cupcakes with our avocado icing. Enjoy.